We put wallpaper on here. We made it themed. It's 6,500 square feet. It's really large in size, has high-end furnishings, great lighting. This is the pinnacle of properties when it comes here in the DC area. And I am renting this home, and I furnished this home, and it is making a great return. This property is doing $8,500 a month in rent. My utility is going to be about $500 a month. My insurance is about $300 a month. So all in, I'm about $9,300 is my expenses on a monthly basis, right? You know, if you want to add things like, drinks, water, essentials, we can call it $9,400. But how much can I actually make for a property like this? A property like this, I can actually do $1,700 on the weekdays, on the weekends per night. I can do $750 on the weekdays per night. So if I'm doing $9,500 in rent, the profits for a property like this is going to be anywhere from $7,000 to $9,000, meaning that my overall revenue is anywhere from $16,000 to $19,000. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I've done these numbers before. I used to have a mansion within the same city. That is the power of having one of these large houses, is that you're able to make more return. And the biggest factor that most people don't think about is the fact that in order to make the same returns with apartments, you're going to have, what are we talking? If it's 400, you're going to have 20 apartments that are studios to make the same return as this one house. Think about that. That's 20 separate guests that you have to keep up with, 20 separate personalities, 20 separate properties when it comes to its utilities, the essentials, issues that can happen with that house, with those apartments, versus dealing with one house that likely has one problem for property management, has less issues with guests because this is higher end property. So you're going to have better quality guests who are going to bring less issues to your home. It's a no-brainer to me. It's an absolute no-brainer. That's why when you get into this type of market, if you're able to afford this market, meaning scaling over time, you're going to see that you can make a huge return on bigger houses with less liability, which I know people think it's more because it's like, Frank, what if you don't make rent? You have to pay over $100,000 in a year in rent. Yes, that's true. In some ways, it's actually less liable because I know I'm going to make my money back based on weekends alone. Those weekends rates is enough to where if I'm booked 7 or 8 days out of the weekend, then I'm going to make enough money to pay for my expenses. That's how crazy these things, right? So I'm not worried too much about my expenses. What I would be worried about is the property management and the amount of maintenance it is to take care of 20 apartment buildings, the amount of energy it is to have to communicate with 20 different guests that are in your apartment, the stress that you're going to have in your head of all these potential issues that can happen if you have 20 properties. I don't want 20 doors. Give me one door that does $8,000 to $10,000 a month in profit, and